So a new study links drinking alcohol to the risk of dementia. Alcohol and dementia. Sounds familiar.
She's now the political equivalent of marginal royalty from a forgotten European country, smugly entitled, but no one cares. Her crimes: 1, she mistook the cause of terror, blaming Benghazi on a video, seeking a scapegoat instead of assuming responsibility. 2,
imagine this Greg Gutfeld, the man who handles politics like a stand-up show, just went full destruction mode on Hillary Clinton. And no, this is not a small tease. This is full wrecking force that would make mildly envious what began as a simple shot turned into a roast hotter than a July 4th barbecue. The internet will not stop talking. And you are about to find out why. Get ready, because this breakdown is pure comic treasure.
The idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, it's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for.
What? Isn't she charming? No wonder Bill spends most of his days perched in a tree outside the local Hooters.
Before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe, because you do not want to miss this. Greg Gutfeld did not just roast Hillary Clinton. He tossed her political career into a microwave-pressed popcorn and watched the whole thing burst in shining slow motion. And the greatest part, he did not even have to try hard. It was like seeing a cat casually knock a vase from the table. Except the vase was Hillary's whole reputation, and the crash echoed all over the internet.
She's back like a sore on a porn star's lip.
Ew.
Complaining on X about Trump cleaning up D.C., she says, quote, on one hand, Republican officials call themselves war fighters. On the other, they become whiny crybabies at the thought of setting foot in D.C. streets and New York City subways that literal school children navigate every day without incident. Real macho stuff. Then she got off social media and returned to moving a dead body to a park.
Because let's be real, Hillary Clinton built a brand she believed was unbreakable, walking into the public stage like the political version of stainless steel. Nothing attaches, nothing bends, nothing cracks. Or so she assumed, but then Greg shows up armed only with sarcasm sharp enough to strip paint from a car, and suddenly the once untouchable Clinton machine looks like a worn-out blender barely held together with duct tape.
That's good.
This might be, in my opinion, the worst thing she's ever said. Because we know New York City subways. Kids don't take the subway.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if you do, you're like, whose kid is that?
Yeah, there are men on there who set fire to women. But she's pretending that the people that are trying to reduce crime, that are doing it for themselves, because she's only used to doing things for herself.
Yeah.
For herself.
The funniest part about this post for me was the fact that she disabled comments on it. Like, what? You wouldn't want to have to see anything unsavory.
The takedown was not gentle either. This was not a polite debate at a dinner table where everyone smiles and pretends to be proper. This was a full-scale comedy airstrike. Every line hit with the accuracy of a sniper and the bite of a roast master who had stored jokes for years, waiting for the right moment to release them. And yes, he delivered. Hillary was not just surprised. She looked like someone trying to restart Windows 95, while the rest of the world runs on lightning fast Wi-Fi. The brilliance of this show is how predictable her reaction was, because when pressure hits, she does not dodge. Smoothly, she doubles down with the drive of someone pushing a used car that clearly reeks of old French fries. Instead of shrugging it off or firing back with humor, she clung to the role of the unshakable queen, certain her crown still gleamed. Spoiler, it did not.
Masculinizes the argument. I don't even know if that's a word. Is it?
It is now.
It is. She takes a real issue, which is crime affecting the citizens of D.C., and makes it about these war fighters being whiny crybabies, like it's big, whiny men.
Yeah, because they want the streets safe for not just them.
Yes.
The children, and not just that, the children who are jacking and robbing everyone.
Gutfeld made certain of that. He buffed it with sarcasm until it shined like a stage prop in a school play. Fake weak and a little awkward under bright lights. And the best part was that watching Hillary Clinton squirm under comic fire is nothing like seeing her squirm under political stress in politics. She knows how to spin, redirect, and toss out a what about them quicker than a magician pulling rabbits from a hat. But in the comedy ring, she is a deer on an ice rink sliding everywhere, legs flailing, struggling to stay upright. While Greg calmly nudges her back onto the ice each time, she thinks she is steady. The crowd loved it, because this was not only a roast of Hillary, it was a roast of the whole image. She spent years creating that image of certainty, of strength, of being untouchable. This was about what she symbolizes, the polished, over-rehearsed, overly calculated political figure that believes charm can be engineered in a lab and rolled onto a stage. And Greg was not fooled. He flipped the switch, pulled the curtain aside, and showed the political Wizard of Oz was just Hillary frantically pressing buttons behind a machine no one trusts anymore.
Treated classified info the way her husband treats women, casually disposable. In this age when there's no monopoly on mayhem, we need careful, not careless. 3, she put personal privacy before public security. The way Bill used the Secret Service, she used the Secret Server, both to create a wall between prying eyes. So, no surprise, in a new poll, when Americans are asked what word best describes her, they scream liar, followed by dishonest, then untrustworthy. I think I notice a trend. To Americans, she's less dependable than your cable guy. Meanwhile, as she implodes, Biden basks, a white knight with whitened teeth. But as nice as Joe is, it reveals the sober truth.
What makes this even funnier is how relaxed Greg looked the entire time for him. This was not hard work. This was pure enjoyment. You could almost see him treating it like batting practice, calmly knocking fastballs out of the park while Hillary scrambled like a little league pitcher, watching balls fly over her head. And every swing carried the same message: the Clinton era is not just finished, it has turned into a joke. There is a special satisfaction the public feels when someone finally says out loud what many have been thinking for years. Hillary has been in the spotlight so long she has turned into a cartoon version of herself. The scripted speeches, the stiff motions, the strange skill of answering without truly answering, it all turned into material. You cannot hide behind talking points when the jokes cut deeper than the policy papers you once waved around. And the more she tried to hold her composure, the more hilarious it became. Because nothing shows defeat like someone pretending they are unaffected while the whole crowd is doubled over laughing.
Arrested and ready Bigfoot. Hillary Clinton told folks in Pennsylvania that she's ready to come out of the woods. So is this the comeback that America wants? You know, we love it when great bands get back together, but not Limp Bizkit, not Hoobastank. Hillary announcing return, it's like the bird flu announcing a return of the bird flu. Or McDonald's relaunching the Arch Deluxe, or MSNBC bringing back Brian Williams. Really? We're living in a reverse episode of In Search Of, where the vanishing creature keeps looking for you.
And it was not only about Hillary's past, it was about her future. As well, Greg painted her as the spirit of political failures, haunting the present with worn-out ideas and a tired image, the picture of Hillary as this constant figure, always trying to claw her way back into importance, became comedy treasure. And the more you think about it, the funnier it is, because at some point she stopped being a real political player and turned into a recurring cameo, showing up like that one TV character the writers refused to drop, even though the story ended 3 seasons ago. What really sealed the collapse was how easily Greg turned Hillary into the punchline of a joke she did not even know she was in. She was not clashing in a debate. She was not rallying a crowd. She was just standing there unaware, while Greg made her into a comic prop. It is the type of humiliation that hurts more because it comes wrapped in humor. You can argue with an opponent, you can strike back at a critic, but you cannot fight. Being laughed at clips spread like wildfire. Memes flooded every part of social media, and suddenly Hillary Clinton was trending, not for speeches, not for policy, not even for scandals. She was trending because Greg Gutfeld handed her the kind of public loss that cannot be spun by press releases or polished away by advisors. She was trending because she was destroyed, roasted, demolished. Pick any word, they all fit.
Hillary plays won't go away. She's the Yeti who wouldn't leave. Well, unless, of course, she's running for office. Then she disappears. But she announced she's back in Lackawanna, Pennsylvania. True, she did beat Trump there, but he won the entire state. and she lost it because she was MIA. She thought she had it in the bag. So now she says, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me. That's the worst thing a loser can say. It's like Rachel Maddow holding up a wad of old government forms she found in a dumpster behind Trump Tower and saying, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of these.
And the irony is Hillary has always despised being the punchline. She spent years trying to shape the story and protect the picture of the capable, polished leader. But the instant Greg stepped into the arena, all that control vanished. He did not just push back, he rewrote her part in real time, turning her from the self-proclaimed queen of politics into the unwilling court jester. The result was not only laughter, it was the realization that Hillary Clinton's days of demanding fear or respect might truly be finished. If you cannot even survive a comedy takedown without looking like leftovers from yesterday, how can you ever claim to be relevant in today's ruthless, fast-moving political arena? Greg Gutfeld did not just break down Hillary Clinton. He tore away the illusion that she remained untouchable. And once that illusion is gone, only the truth remains. She shines when the room is stiff, when the lights are dramatic, when people lean in as if every word from her mouth is history being written. But when that seriousness is cracked, when someone tears open the mask and lets humor rush in, the whole performance collapses faster than a failed Broadway show after opening night.
With 5 days left, is the proverbial poop hitting the fan? You just heard Bret Baier on the latest news, but will it make a difference? What if the emails found on Weiner's laptop did come from Hillary's server? And what if there were new discoveries that actually had classified info? One of Baier's sources claims that Hill's server had been hacked, as he said before, with information stolen by at least 5 foreign intel agencies. If this is true, how will Hillary beat this rap? With this rap by her power.
He exploited that weakness like a cat finds the one delicate thing in your home to knock down. He did not just hit her record, he mocked the way she presents herself, the outdated confidence of someone who still thinks it is 1996, and she is untouchable. Watching Hillary react was like watching someone walk into the wrong Zoom call, but too proud to leave. So they sit pretending it is exactly where they meant to be. What makes this funny is how predictable Hillary is under pressure. Her plan never changes, ignore, deflect, repeat the same lines until the crowd forgets the first question. But none of that works in comedy. Comedy is instant, comedy is blunt, and Greg came loaded with jokes sharper than campaign ads, hitting harder because they were not hidden in political wording. They were clear-cutting and brutally funny. And here is the thing, Hillary has always carried this strange mix of pride and fragility. She wants to show strength, but you can see the frustration boiling whenever she is pushed. Greg put a spotlight on that for everyone, showing not just the politician, but the person who despises losing. Every jab was a reminder of the political graveyard she has been trying to climb out of for decades. Every smirk was a reminder that for all the times she has tried to reinvent herself, the ending is always the same, another awkward chapter in the endless saga of Clinton comebacks that never last.
She must be working for Trump. Seriously, that is so bad it could turn Chelsea Clinton into a never Hillary. And sorry, Lena, the gender card has been so played out, it's falling on deaf-pierced ears. Look, if you already hate Hillary, this new stuff isn't going to change a thing. And if you already hate Trump, this isn't going to make you love him. Battle lines are drawn, nothing sticks. But it seems like the truth is now the bull in Hillary's china shop. Remember, Nixon was pretty cocky too, up until he wasn't. Events are now dictated.
And the best part was the crowd laughed even harder at the truth hidden inside the jokes, because at the center of Greg's comedy was the undeniable fact that Hillary is still trying to play the same game long after everyone else moved on. She is the political version of a MySpace page. Once groundbreaking, now mostly awkward. Sure, she can act like she is still relevant, but the internet keeps receipts, and Greg was flashing them like a magician pulling scarves from a hat. It did not help that Hillary's reaction to the jokes was so predictable. She did not turn to humor. She did not fire back with wit, and Greg thrived on that. Every flicker of annoyance from her was fuel for his fire. He pressed harder, knowing her inability to roll with the punches made every strike land heavier. It was a lesson in comedic bullying, except it was not cruel just to be cruel. It was the type of roasting that reveals the absurdity of power that takes itself too seriously. Because, let's be honest, Hillary Clinton has always wanted to be the lead character in her mind. History is a movie, And she is the star, but in Greg's hands, she became the comic relief.
Her new foreign policy class changed minds that she's a horse's ass. This week, Columbia University shared a video promoting a new course that's co-taught by Hillary Clinton. Believe me, no one's more thrilled to have Hillary out of the house than Bill. Speaking of Bill, if you're a lady who is a solid 8 or above, he'll tutor you for free. The course he's teaching, how to fit snugly under my desk.
And the audience loved every moment of it. There is something deeply satisfying about seeing someone who built their whole image on control suddenly lose it all. To the chaos of laughter, the internet reacted the way it always does with memes, clips, edits, and remixes. Suddenly, Hillary was not trending for policies or legacy speeches. She was trending because Greg turned her into a Saturday Night Live skit without even trying. And once the memes started, is finished, Hillary has been drifting around, lately slipping into political conversations, hinting at relevance, testing the waters like someone dipping their toes in a pool they were never invited to swim in. But Greg slammed the pool gate shut and told her the party was done. It was not just comedy, it was a cultural eviction notice. And it raises a bigger question: why is Hillary still trying? The political world has moved forward, the public has moved forward, and yet she keeps showing up like an app that reinstalls itself, no matter how many times you delete it. Greg captured that irritation, perfectly channeling the collective eye roll of a nation that has been listening to her voice for decades and is simply exhausted.
First, she wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who, you know where this is going. But it's the smartest realization on campus since someone realized you could put vodka up your butt. Thanks, Shannon. Earlier this year, Bill's worser half accepted a professorship at Columbia teaching public affairs. Meanwhile, Bill did offer to tutor some of the female students, but Columbia has a no-cigar policy.
The destruction was complete, not because Greg out-argued her. This was not a debate. It was complete because he out-funnied her. He reminded everyone that power only works when people take you seriously, and when the laughter starts, the seriousness disappears. Hillary's brand depends on seriousness, on weight, on the illusion of inevitability. Greg burst that bubble with a grin and a joke, leaving only the sound of laughter echoing in the hollow shell of her image. And here is where it turns harsh once. You are funny for the wrong reasons. You cannot come back. You can recover from scandal. You can bounce back from defeat. But when your identity shifts from respected figure to running joke, that is permanent comedy has become the great equalizer, and anyone too stiff to adjust is doomed to end up as a punchline. Hillary just happened to be the latest and most high-profile casualty.
For passing her wisdom on to the next generation on everything from fraudulent land deals to unflattering pantsuits. Meanwhile, students were promised empowering lessons by one of America's biggest losers. After all, who else can teach them how to delete emails and destroy evidence, while also learning how to destroy Libya? But turns out the class is just a bunch of ego-worshipping drivel in front of an audience, unlike her show on Apple TV, which was ego-worshipping drivel without an audience. One disappointed student described her first day as a swarm of several hundred people, a sea of cameras, Secret Service personnel. Sounds like every time Joe makes a boom boom.
But here is the twist. Deep down, Hillary likely believed she could handle it. She has faced world leaders, scandals, and investigations. Surely one late-night comic could not shake her. And that is the sad part. She misjudged comedy. She assumed this was politics as usual, where she could pivot, dodge, or block her way through. Instead, she stepped into a buzzsaw of sarcasm and walked out with nothing but bruises and memes, and Greg walked away smiling the winner. In a fight Hillary never should have entered, he did not just beat her in the moment. He reminded everyone that comedy will always outlast political performance.